What's good, everyone? Legacy here, also known as Infamous Legacy, back with another Marvel's Avengers build video. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my Black Widow range build. In this video, I'm also going to be showing you the gear I use, the skills I use, the champion system, and also a demonstration of what attacks I use when I'm taking on enemies. So with this build will be great for multiple enemies when you're fighting them, or also even boss fights. So let's get it started. Let's go ahead and break down the gear I use, and I'll also tell you where I get that gear. Alright, so starting off, we're going to go right over here. So with this build, I'm basically focusing on my range rating and heroic rating. So when you're looking for gear, you definitely want to make sure you get precision, valor, and proficiency. The heroic rating is what's going to help me get those critical attacks. So with this build, keep in mind, this is all about getting critical attack damage as well. So with this item I have here for my melee gear piece, I got this in one of the villain sectors. However, that perk right there you see at the bottom, Arsenal Rush, 10% increased rate of fire for all weapons. That's a must, especially if you're making a range build for Black Widow. I definitely could have got better attributes on this piece right here. However, I wasn't able to get any good gear where I had this perk and with also the best attributes. Hopefully, down the road I'll get a better piece. But this is an example of what you want to have when you're building a range Black Widow build. Next piece, Hive Mind rounds. You guys can see their valor. I did wish I got some precision on that, or proficiency instead of might, but it's all good. So with this one, with the Black Widow build, I also want to let you guys know it's a status effect build as well. So Black Widow is probably one of those OP builds that causes a lot of status effect damage. And I'll explain that later on in the video, how to apply that status effect. So with the gear perks I have here, I have pistol shot and then high caliber shot, which deals gamma damage. This is one of my favorites, and when I do show you guys clips of me taking on enemies, you're going to see the crazy amount of damage I do with this build with the gamma status effect. With this piece, you guys can actually get it from the Mega Hive. It's a Hive Mind rounds, so it will be available in the Mega Hive with the 16.4s. Supposedly the Mega Hive is going to get shorter, so it'll be a little bit easier and a little bit faster to get the pieces you want for your builds. Next piece I got here, this is more of like a tachyon kind of piece. This is a legendary piece with defensive gear. I actually got this while I was completing the Red Room, like completing those mission objectives. So if you look at the description here, there's 18.9 chance when pairing an attack to activate Tachyon Surge. The surge increases all status damage by 50% while active. 18.9%, which is still, it's hard to, activate. However, with the champion system, and if you do end up getting a better piece where it does, create a status effect surge, it will definitely be better than the piece I currently have. So again, with this piece here, it increases the amount of cosmic damage dealt with any attack by 20%, which is pretty good. So there's a lot of status effect going. I forgot to mention, with the melee piece, again, I'm not really doing any melee combos, but if you do a light combo finisher with the melee attack, you're inflicting some sort of particle damage. But with this piece, back to the defensive gear, I highly recommend you guys might find a way better piece than what I currently have right now. So you just, again, want to make sure the stats are good, and you also have some pretty good perks on it. So again, with the stats, I'm looking for precision, proficiency, and valor. Next piece here, we got this from the Mega Hive. So I like this one right here. I wish I got some proficiency on this instead of resolve, but it's all good. So this one for me, the perk that stood out the most was a 15% increased damage when invisible. So when I go into the demonstration of how I use my, attacks and combos and everything, I'll let you guys know this increased damage when invisible is huge. And also Spectre's Cloak, where it increases the duration of invisibility by 3 seconds. So this is a big, great piece right here. So again, I did get a pretty good roll on it. 81 precision, 75 valor, which is really good. So this again is in the Mega Hive. Next, we're going to go into the minor artifacts. So with this build, I looked for valor-based artifacts. You can switch, have one piece based on valor, then one piece based on precision. But this is me, just using mostly valor because I really want to get that critical attack going. So here I got 55 valor, 46 valor. I actually got this from one of those drop zone missions. So I'm still trying to get another 140 valor piece. So that's why you can see here I'm rocking the yellow one. So, and this also helps. So when you're also looking for the minor artifacts, I do want to mention, you do want to look for gear perks that increase charge rate of your heroic assault or heroic support ability, which is very key. Unfortunately, I didn't get that with this one, so I'm still trying to get that for this piece. But you can see with the 135 piece, I did end up getting that. So now with the major artifact, so again, this is a status effect range build. I went and got the Tachyon or Tachyon, whatever you call it. So with this one, you can actually grind your polychrons and get this to level 10, power 10. So then with this, it'll basically increase the damage when you're affecting enemies with your status damage, and it'll also give you a 11.7 increased status damage from all attacks, which is really good. I also do want to mention is when I'm this is more for when I'm taking on multiple enemies. Like for example, if I'm in the Mega Hive or any of those missions that have multiple, floors, I'll use this major artifact. However, when I do approach a boss fight, where it's just the boss and not a lot of enemies, I actually switch over to the Sacred Norn Stone of Lethal Will. With this, it's going to give you a crazy damage buff, plus with your other buffs that I'll also explain soon in this video. So that's basically the gear I use. Now let's go ahead to the skills, and then you guys can basically see what skills I use for this build. And while I'm explaining this, if you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely make sure I answer them. I do have more build videos on the way. Trying to be a little bit different, trying to see what's not out there already, basically what I use, and if you guys like it, you guys can end up using it as well. So we're going to just skip over to specialty here. So your support heroic ability is going invisible, which is Veil of Shadows. So with this ISO piece right here, this yellow ISO 8, increases the charge rate of that heroic support ability. So basically what that means is you have an increased chance of activating this multiple times and let it recharge multiple times. So if I use it once, it has like a 7.8 chance of increasing that charge rate, so I'll be able to use it again later. So you definitely want to have that. So here I went ahead and got Shadow's Gifts. Basically, when you go invisible and you defeat multiple enemies, which is great when you're facing a lot of those enemies, you have a 35% chance to drop Heroic Orbs. You guys know Heroic Orbs will also charge your Heroic rating for support, assault, and your ultimate. Next, we have Mortal Cloak. This is more of like a support kind of, heroic ability, as you guys can see. It increases their critical attack chance for any of your teammates by 30% while they're invisible as well. Now on to Assault heroic ability. So this is where I really want to mention when I'm going into this part here, Widow's Bite. I'm going to show you guys two things. So basically when I am, again, running those missions with multiple enemies, I do end up using the Super Static Dart. The reason I use this is it has a bigger area effect of damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply a shock status effect for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe in the future they can fix this, because when I do take on single bosses, I'll quickly switch over to this Taser Dart, which attaches to an enemy and then deals shock damage. So combine that shock damage with my gamma damage and also the other status effects. You're going to do crazy and insane damage to that boss. But yeah, with multiple enemies, I'll run with this just because I have a better range. You guys can read it right there. Increases the range of the electric field generated by Widow's Bite by 35%. So that's what I use. But then again, when I'm fighting a boss, I switch to Taser Dart. Next up, we got another Widow's Bite specialization. We got this one here. Widow's Bite inflicts 40% more stun damage, increasing the chance to stun enemies. So that's what I end up using because I definitely want to inflict more damage to my enemies and also try and stun them. If you guys don't really like that, you guys can use this Lethal Bite for additional charge. So I will probably use this when I'm also taking on a boss. I'll switch over to this quick, then I'll have like multiple recharges of Widow's Bite. Because you guys can see here, you have 1 Widow's Bite here, 2, and then 3. So crazy amount. You can just keep spamming that Widow's Bite and destroy a boss pretty quickly with your buffs. Next one, we got the ultimate heroic ability, Power Surge. Well, Power Surge, a lot of people use it as a melee ultimate. However, people don't realize when I'm breaking this down, you can actually use it as a range. So with Power Surge, you want to first activate this, you want to go invisible, then activate this, and then I'll use this ability right here. Increases the damage of Widow's Bite while Power Surge is active by 20%. So when you have Power Surge active and you use Widow's Bite, you're basically going to be attacking an enemy with increased damage, which is really good. Next one. So this is one of the specializations that is key for your range build. So with this one, you're basically going to increase your stun damage while Power Surge is active by 30%. You always want to make sure you can stun your enemies because when you're spamming also that Widow's Bite, you're kind of stunning them. So that's that. There's also something I wanted to show you, but that's probably going to be in the Mastery. So let's quickly go over to Mastery now. Intrinsic, I'm just going to quickly go over these. So you guys can see here, increase critical attack damage while overcharged by 15%. Takedown boost, increase amount of intrinsic shadow op energy by 20 points. Efficient overcharge, increase the delay by 1 second before intrinsic shadow op energy begins to deplete when not attacking enemies. Now here, this is where we're going to focus on. So grenade type. So with grenade, you can see there's hazard grenade, your proximity grenade, and also cluster grenade. So with this range build, I like using this one because you're throwing 3 grenades that will inflict multiple enemies in a wider area. So that's a good ability to have. And then here, it's all up to you if you guys want to do this. The reason why I like using the flash freeze grenades is when I apply cryo damage to enemies, it does slow them down, which gives you the opportunity to back up and then start using your weapons to attack from a distance. So that's why I use cryo. I've seen some people use plasma, which might deal a little bit more damage. Shock, I don't really want to like using shock because I'm already applying that with Widow's Bite. So I like using cryo. I like to get multiple status effect damages going on the enemies. Alright, next we have fast reloaded. This is a key ability you also want to use. This will increase your reload speed by 50%, so you can start spamming your pistols or your high caliber shot. So you definitely want to have that. Alright, now we're going to go into invisibility. We have invisible status, increases all status damage while invisible by 20%. You definitely want that. And then you have extended invisibility. That will extend your invisibility by 2 seconds. 2 seconds is not a lot, but you still want to have that. And then here, when you go invisible, you increase your critical attack damage while invisible by 15%. Again, you really want to have this. Next, we're going into utility. So you guys know, anytime you want to do a takedown, you want to make sure you get a heroic orb. So you choose this one right here. And now with this one, I went with the stun damage by 15% because again, I want to stun enemies. You can go with the increased range attack damage, but honestly, I prefer the stun damage. Like, that's what I really prefer, just because I can stun an enemy. And you also have your other attacks doing a lot of stun damage as well. Next one, this is more from light combo finishers and heavy combo finishers. This is basically increasing the damage by 25%. Okay, there's really no range ability for this, so you could just go with that. Now quickly into the champion system. I really haven't got working on my Black Widow's champion system right here. I'll tell you guys what you should be upgrading first. First, personally, I will go with the boost critical damage by 5%. You want to max this out. You want to then max out your innate critical attack chance. Then go into stun and status damage. And then also go into your range. And then after that, go into heroic damage boosts. And then you can worry about this. Next, your utility boost, you want to max that out. Then later go into defense. And then save your melee for last. So that was a breakdown of the champion system, the mastery, the specialty, and also you guys already have unlocked most of this. So with my build videos, I just want to make sure these build videos are really good for anyone who's already level 50. You guys can try these build guides I put out to see if it works for you. So we went through the gear, we went through the skills. Now it's the fun part. I'm actually going to demonstrate to you what attacks I use and how I attack enemies, what my range, critical damage, status effect damage, Black Widow build. Let's go. Now we're in the harm room. Basically going to give you a demonstration. Before I quickly do that, I do want to go back to the gear. I really want to explain this properly again. So with this piece, I just want to explain to you where I actually did find this. I just remembered right now. You can actually get this from the last Avengers standing mission. It's kind of a rare drop because it really doesn't drop often. However, if you did complete the Red Room takeover mission objectives, that's where I actually got this piece. It awarded me this exotic piece for Black Widow. So that's also where I got it if you still have that objective active. If you don't, try the last Avengers standing mission to receive this. And also before we go on to the demonstration, I will explain, I will put timestamps for this video so you guys can just skip to whichever part will be useful to you and helpful. I know my videos are long when I'm breaking down the builds and everything, but I try to do that just so I can give a better explanation to you that how these builds work and what gear I use and all that. So I do apologize if it's long, but if you guys want to go ahead and skip, just look for the timestamps, sorry, in the comments, and then you guys can skip to any of the parts that will help you. All right, so now we're going to go into a quick demonstration. So with this, I'm basically going to be taking on like 169, 170 plus combat power enemies. I might get myself killed like I usually do when I'm demonstrating, but near the end of this video, I'll throw you clips when you're running missions on how much damage I do with enemies who are at the 150 range for their combat power. But these enemies will be a lot harder, but let me quickly demonstrate to you how to do that. So with this one, I'm just going to go with the major artifact. Okay. This one is going to be the Tachygen. I really need to know how to pronounce that because I'm butchering it right now. My apologies. So this is the one with Valor and Might. So let's just call this the status effect major artifact. So this is what I'll be using right now. So let's go here. we're gonna start with the proto-synthoids, and then later I'll do a quick demonstration on how to fight like bigger enemies or single enemies with the other major artifact. So you guys can also see here, we're taking on 170 plus enemies. Alright. Okay, so let's... Oh shoot, let me just go over here. Let's have them all gather up. So you're gonna pop this artifact first, go invisible, Tachyon Surge, high caliber. And you guys know, when you do headshots, you're also going to be, you know, doing more damage. The great thing about this is when you go invisible, you can see how many heroic orbs I spawned, actually, sorry. So, with these heroic orbs that have spawned, I can quickly go invisible again. I can activate another power surge, which is going to be ×2 increased damage. Let's throw a Widow's Bite right there. So you can see it's doing multiple effect damage on multiple enemies. You can see the gamma being applied. And then let's throw in this. Now let's quickly go over to the pistols. Because what my gear I have, my range piece, you can see I can actually apply gamma damage with my pistols as well. I do prefer using the high caliber, even though the reload time takes a little bit longer. But it definitely, you know, hits more than the pistols do in terms of damage. So when I'm like, you know, staying back like this, I'm just spamming, then quickly switch. So that's that. So let's go around quickly, get these heroic orbs. Go here, we're gonna try and apply, go invisible again, and then do some more damage. Let's have all these enemies gather up real quickly. And let's quickly go, I just want to make sure I do have that Widow's Bite that does multiple damage to multiple enemies, so it does. So this is, again, for a bigger area effect when I'm using Widow's Bite. And let's see, okay. So we're gonna let them gather up. Keep dodging them. I want to just try. Okay, there we go. So go invisible, power surge, spam Widow's Bite. There you go. Boom. Look at that. So you can see, when you're going invisible, every time you defeat an enemy, a heroic orb pops up, which will help you when you're fighting multiple enemies. So look, let's gather these heroic orbs up again. Let me try and get this one here before I die. Alright, so going invisible again, power surge, Widow's Bite. So you can see it's doing multiple stats effect damage to multiple enemies, and you can see those orange numbers are those crit numbers, the green numbers are my gamma damage numbers, like those lime green numbers are my heroic numbers. So look at all those heroic orbs just spawn. Oh, let me get out of here. I got another Widow's Bite. The blue numbers are actually like shock damage, but for some reason it doesn't, like when you do the Widow's Bite, it doesn't, you know, apply it, but it does give you out those blue numbers, so. Alright, I think this is the last wave. Let's clear these dudes out right here. Alright, we're going invisible again. Power surge, Widow's Bite, high caliber shot. Ooh. Oh, it was a close one. You really got to aim for their heads, right? So, to do that damage. So, look at this. I'm doing a lot of damage on 170 enemies, basically. So, when you're in those regular missions with like 150 enemies or 160 enemies, you're obviously going to be doing a lot more. Another Widow's Bite. So you can see it's getting applied. Let's go invisible again. Alright, we're gonna pick up some orbs. Let's get that tachyon surge going as well. And then let's increase our invisibility. And also, when you go invisible as well, you're doing damage too. So I'm gonna go invisible again. I'll show you right here with this enemy. You can see it applies like some sort of shock damage. And there we go. That's a quick demonstration on fighting multiple enemies and using a range build with the status effect artifact. Okay. I also do want to mention, when I do go back here quickly, there is a piece of gear. I think it was a range gear. It wasn't a hive mind. I did get it once. However, the rolls I got wasn't really good. It basically gives you like aim assistance. So that piece you can actually get from the last Avengers standing mission. So with that gear piece, or I think you can also get it from the Mega Hive. I think, yes, it is from the Mega Hive actually. So with that range piece, it'll help you have aim assistance. But again, with this gear I have right here, I like the gamma damage that's getting applied. It's more for my status effect range build anyways. But if you do prefer something like that, run the Mega Hive and try and get that range piece where it gives you aim assistance. If you're horrible at aiming like I am, you know. But you guys did see it does multiple damage. You know, does multiple damage to multiple enemies. So now we're gonna quickly switch the artifact over. We're gonna go into skills. Taser dart. And then we're gonna go here, lethal bite, just so we can have some, you know, 3 charges of Widow's Bite. And then we can attach the taser dart to a big enemy. So we're gonna switch these enemies. I'm gonna keep the group size small for this, just to show you guys. Alright, there we go. There's a Dreadbot right there. Oh shoot. Alright, let's actually quickly reset it real quick. Because I want to make sure my support and heroic ability and ultimate ability, the recharge, was fully charged. Okay, let's quickly go here. Let's do a... Alright, we're gonna go with this. Provides infinite heroic meter. This is just gonna be a quick demonstration of when my heroic charges are full and what damage I can do to like a single enemy. For example, when we're like in a boss fight. Alright, so there we go. So let's look for the Dreadbot real quick. So we're going invisible. We're going with Power Surge. Pop the artifact. And then apply that gamma damage. There you guys go. So you can see those numbers. That's a lot of numbers. So go. So with that major artifact that basically gives you a damage buff, you can see you're doing a little bit more damage. If you prefer to use this artifact when taking on multiple enemies, you can. However, what I recommend is the status effect damage, just because when you're taking on multiple enemies, you can apply a lot of your status effect damage on all those enemies. This is more, again, when you're taking on a boss. And with this also, you're getting a better heroic rating and a small increase in your melee. Alright everyone, we're at the end of this Black Widow range build video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely answer them for you. I will again provide timestamps in the comments so you can skip to which parts will help you. I do apologize again for how long this build video is and why my build videos are long. It's probably because I talk too much. However, if I talk too much and I'm helping you, let me know, because then that's a positive for me. So yeah, show your support by liking this video, commenting, subscribing. Let me know if you, again, do have questions. I am here to help the community, and I hope you enjoy this video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw you some in-game mission clips of my Black Widow in action, and you're going to see how crazy she is, especially in the missions. Like, the damage she does is ridiculous. I'm not sure if I'm going to eventually get nerfed, or Black Widow's going to get nerfed with how much damage I'm doing with her, but you're going to see what I'm talking about when you look at those clips. Until then, I will be putting out more build videos. This is just the beginning. I got a lot more build videos on the way, and this is my unique perspective on how I want to share my build videos. For now, I'm out. Everyone take care, stay safe. Peace.
This may shock you. You never learn.
The abomination.
Here's an energy boost. This might hurt. Guess I do, but
The abomination figured you'd be doing Hill's dirty work. Taskmaster's mercenary.
what are they doing here?
Protecting the base, it seems.
Get rid of them.
Flies and nothing.
They've got backup. We'll keep them busy. Take out their leaders. Once Taskmaster's mercs are gone, they'll force a retreat.
All clear.
All hostiles accounted for.